Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis. These three players have collectively secured the last 6 MVP awards in the NBA. But what's the common denominator? They're all international players. In fact, this year's Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year are also from overseas. And with another international player winning this year's MVP, it's shaping up to be a historic season for international players. But it doesn't stop there. Last year's All-Star Game featured an astonishing 8 international players, and at the start of this season, the NBA featured a record-breaking 125 international players. What's most noteworthy here isn't just the number of international players in the league, but just how dominant they've become over the years. For decades, the NBA has been primarily dominated by American players. While a few international stars like Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, and Tony Parker have left their mark on the league, true dominance by international players has been quite rare. However, in recent years, we've witnessed a very noticeable shift in the NBA landscape. Today, the league is experiencing the most dominant era of international talent. But don't just take my word for it. Let's dive into the numbers to truly understand this new era. Let's start off by diving into the history of the NBA Most Valuable Player Award. Since its creation in 1956, a total of 68 MVP awards have been given out. Out of these, only 7 have been won by international players, resulting in roughly 10% of all MVPs in NBA history. However, a closer look at recent data shows us a notable shift. In the past 6 seasons alone, 6 of the last MVP winners have all been from overseas. But it doesn't stop there. Every year, NBA voters submit their picks for their top 5 MVP candidates. The player with the highest total points wins the award. Now, let's take a closer look at who's been making an impact in MVP voting in recent years. In 2023, an impressive 4 out of the top 5 award recipients were international players. The same trend continued in 2022, with 4 international players dominating the top spots. Even in 2021, 3 out of the top 5 spots were held by international players. This just further shows the league's top talent is flooded with international players. But what if we shift our focus away from MVP awards? Here, you're looking at ESPN's top 100 player list coming into this year's NBA season. Do you notice anything about the players in the top 10? Well, here's something for you. The top 4 players are all international players, and out of the top 10 players, half of them are from overseas. Again, we see the top heavy talent from international players making their mark among the very best in the NBA. In fact, in the current NBA season, the top 3 scoring leaders are all international players. Their dominance extends beyond just scoring, with 3 of the top 5 rebounding leaders also being from overseas. I know this player isn't the most liked among NBA fans, but Rudy just secured his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award, joining only 2 other players in NBA history to achieve this feat. Dikembe, also an international player, and Ben Wallace. To take it a step further, since 2018, only 2 non-international players have won Defensive Player of the Year honors. So, these players are making an impact on both ends of the floor. Next, how about we do some hypothetical matchmaking? With the Olympics coming up this summer, what if we take the potential starting 5 for the USA and see how they match up against the rest of the world? For the USA, we'll go with Curry, Edwards, James, Durant, and since he has opted to represent the USA, we'll go Embiid at center. Now at first glance, this team looks basically unbeatable against any other country, but now let's look at what a potential starting 5 for Team World would look like. We'll go with SGA, Luka, Giannis, Jokic, and Wemby. Now, although it can be argued the USA still has the better roster, it can't be denied that this game would be a lot closer than what fans have been used to over the years. I'm not the only one who's noticed the dominance of these international stars in today's NBA. Let's hear from some former NBA players and analysts who have also taken notice of this shift in the game. Take a look at these clips to see what they have to say.
And then, the best players are European.
Since the game has went global, the game of basketball, the NBA, belongs to the international players.
Arguably the best player in the game today in a lot of people's eyes is Nikola Jokic. Okay, you've got guys from Serbia, Slovenia, the list goes on. Luka Doncic, where's he from? All right, Giannis Antetokounmpo, where's he from? Greece.
And right now, it's just crazy to see how they're dominating the NBA. It's now this young kid won the Wemby.
Damn.
He's oh my God.
Now that we've seen the current dominance of international players in the NBA, it brings up the question, is this trend sustainable? As the game continues to grow, the likelihood of top-tier talent emerging from the international player pool only increases. But what about the future? One player that's been heavily brought up is this man right here, noted as possibly the best international prospect in NBA history. Recently being named Rookie of the Year, Wemby's potential seems to be amongst the highest of anyone in the league, with some even suggesting he could reach GOAT-level status.
The league's really in trouble when he comes in.
He has a combination of things that we have never seen. 7'5", high release point, elevation on his jump shot, quickness, footwork, all of the things that you put into that's the scariest thing that we've ever seen.
Here's what I'm saying. These are my expectations for him. One of the best players ever.
It's clear that international players are making a significant impact on the NBA like never before. From dominating MVP races to showcasing their talents across several statistical categories, their impact in the league is undeniable. Although the stars of today will continue to dominate for the near future, it will only allow the new and upcoming talent to follow in their footsteps. With players like Wemby trailing behind, it's safe to say the international star power in the league is in good hands and is here to stay. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and thanks for watching.